ladies and gentlemen, doing this lovely welcome note for all of us is none other than the CEO, Center of Excellence for AI and IoT, NASSCOM, Sanjeev Malhotra. A little about Sanjeev, though. As the head of the NASSCOM Center of Excellence, AI and IoT, spanning 4 locations in Bangalore, Gurgaon, Vizag, and Ahmedabad, Sanjeev is currently building the innovation ecosystem with startups, corporates, government, academia, focusing on emerging technologies like IoT, artificial intelligence, robotics, etc., and its implication in healthcare and life science, manufacturing, engineering enterprises, etc. India is becoming a hub of innovative digital solutions, covering the entire gamut of industries and powering the digital strategies for global companies. And Sanjeev, who started his career at Silicon Valley and led product development, strategy, and global operations at Intel, Qualcomm, etc., has set up Indian centers for global companies and has an MBA from Duke University. So I think we're in the safest pair of hands to start this up, to set the ball rolling for all of us. So please welcome once again the CEO, Center of Excellence for AIT, AI and IoT, NASSCOM, Sanjeev Malhotra.
Thank you. So glad to be here, and thank you for the wonderful and such a high energy introduction, Riaz. So we're off to a good start with you here. I would, as a way of my introduction, you already heard as a part of NASSCOM what I do, and I'll tell you in last few years when we started, just a small view of my journey there. When we had the Center of IoT and AI, IoT was referred to as Internet of Things. Over a period of time, we called it intelligence of things, because we found the amount of, earlier it was related with connectivity. Connectivity is now actually all pervasive, easy to get connectivity. I'm not saying that the future roadmap is pretty strong on 5Gs and other things, but connectivity is all pervasive. What we needed was more data coming out of it, how to make sense out of that data. So hence, actually, you're looking to derive intelligence out of that data. So we called it intelligence of things. Over a period of time, we found that these things are actually connected to a lot of other systems and devices are interconnected. There's a human interface, and eventually now we start calling it intelligence of everything. That is the evolution of how we have come, when we started 5 years ago to where we are now, looking at how do we add intelligence to everything. While easier said than done, but I'll tell you, being from NASSCOM, I think you would expect some trends and numbers and figures. While I'll not share any graphs today, but I'll tell you some trends. First, I told you, it is becoming all pervasive. It is all pervasive because every industry that we go to is actually talking about it. Yesterday, I was in a talk with doctors and administrators from Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute in Delhi. You have to hear them to believe it. The amount of effort they are putting in AI, in detection of cancer when you are reading radiology reports. You would not believe that you are hearing doctors. You will think that you are talking to computer scientists there. So that is the level of acceptance and the importance that is being given to these technologies from people who are practicing medicine. I will talk about a couple other examples that we have seen, when we talk to people in manufacturing. I have seen cement plants, running in the remote corners of Rajasthan. They are talking of adopting technology, and they've already adopted some of them, and they are on the upward curve of adopting it. And of course, we have already seen examples of fintech, which has been a leader in the pack when we talk of different verticals, and the list goes on. So I'll not cover the entire list. But I have so many different examples of the success stories and the efforts that are going on in terms of where they're actually adopted some, and now they're looking to add more intelligence and try to see how we use the data that is being generated by the devices or otherwise, which is already in their systems. So that kind of rhymes and kind of talks and that validates the punchline that I saw for this conference. That it is all pervasive. So talking of all pervasive, I can validate that for you. It is going at a pretty rapid pace. Second thing I can tell you about the trends in the startups in India. India ranks third in the world when it comes to the number of startups in the country. I'll talk about the technology startups because the total number of startups may be many, but just talking of the technology startups, we have about 6 to 10,000 startups in the country, and the number is increasing by 10% every year. So you can pretty much say that 10 to 1200 or 12 to 10 to 50, 1000 to 1500 startups are coming up every year in the technology space. That speaks about the volume of the activity, the interest, the entrepreneurship, and of course the importance of technology. And that trend, has been pretty consistent over the years. It's not a one-year data. It's been consistent and it's continuing to grow. And the third thing I can share with you is the trends in the technology industry, how the industry is growing. I have spent many years in the industry, having started my career in Silicon Valley and after having spent time in many different industries. Always the present 5 years or the last 5 years have always been better than the previous 5 years. Give or take some blips and some dips here and there, but by and large, the trends in the industry has been increasing in terms of the growth, in terms of the adoption, in terms of the depth and the breadth of the technologies that are there. When I was in the valley, there were like number of companies which were of high importance or which were counted in Dow or NASDAQ, but you can count on one or two hands actually. But now there are so many of them, in different domains. And companies are talking of valuations which are more than $1 trillion. So we are in an era which is of a high growth in technology and unlimited or the great amount of opportunities at every level. And given the pace of change in technology and its adoption, it is important for all of us at every level to be continuously remain updated with what is happening. There are so many things that are changing around us. I sit in a place where I actually see, I work with the startups, I work with the corporates, I work with educational institutions, and there has never been an exciting time to be in this technology field than it is now. The other thing is, given the change, as I talked about the pace of technology, the place where you can actually find these technology, where you can keep updated, is not all in one place. It's all dispersed. The amount of work that is happening, whether it is in GCCs or the Indian companies or in the startups or in the universities, it's so dispersed, and getting a handle on it is not going to be an easy task. Universities are doing a great job in updating their syllabus and imparting the latest to the students, but the things are changing so fast. I mean, every 2 years, every 1 year, or 6 months, you will see something new. And that's where forums like this, the 3AI, has done a wonderful job in bringing out the people from the different parts of the ecosystem and putting an ecosystem together. Importance of ecosystem is so high. I'm just telling you out of my experience, what we have seen earlier. I mean, things when they used to change every 5 years, 10 years. The importance of ecosystem in present day is so high that where you are actually talking to people in the enterprises, you're talking to people who are practitioners, and who are actually academicians, and people who are in the user industry. So talking to all of them is important, and that's where actual innovation comes out. Innovation does not happen in isolation. This is my learning, having come from corporate world into the world of startups and innovation and adoption of these new technologies. So with that, I'd like to congratulate the team of 3AI that has put a wonderful program. And I cannot emphasize the importance of such forums more than what I have already tried. I myself, having spent so many years in the industry, feel that there is so much to be done, and to keep up with this, I would appreciate and congratulate all the work done by the team here, and look forward to the wonderful session that you have put together today. And I would like to be tuned in and listening to the rest of the great speakers that you have lined up. So thank you so much, and look forward.
Thank you so much, Sanjeev Malhotra. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have to set the chat box on fire, thanking him. Just write in the two words, thank you to him for wonderfully setting the ball rolling for all of us. May the best happen with you and all your endeavors, sir. And that said, time now for me to request my team at the back end to please switch